That Metal Interview.
So we are talking about Rob Weir of Tigers of Pang Tang, the band very well known as Tigers of Pang Tang, and we welcome you guys one more time to That Metal Interview podcast. And your host James, of course. Thank you for sticking to us. Thank you for checking us out. So awesome. So the legendary Tigers of Pang Tang. We got Rob Weir with us here tonight on our episode of That Metal Interview podcast, and he's here to promote a brand new EP with the title of A New Heartbeat and also the song A New Heartbeat. So let's check it out. Here is the single and video A New Heartbeat. Check it out, man. We'll be right back.
No response. Resume compressions.
Check pulse. Check if there is no pulse, we're going to shock him.
Preparing to shock.
Shocking.
No pulse.
Prepare to shock.
Shocking.
Messing around
Now, isn't that some awesome music right there? A New Heartbeat, isn't that just perfect for the times being for the band, of course? And Rob is here to talk to us about that, of course, and the future of the band. We also ask him about a former member, a well-known former member of Tigers of Pang Tang, Mr. John Sykes. We ask Rob about his relationship with John Sykes, of course. And John, he's very well known with doing some work with Whitesnake and Blue Murder, of course. And anyways, let's hear the conversation with Rob of Tigers of Pang Tang. Enjoy. First question, brand new EP, A New Heartbeat. Can you talk about it? And who wrote the riffs, lyrics, arrangements?
Okay, so when Francesco, our new guitar player, joined the band last year, I decided that it would be great to showcase him with a new Tigers product, and of course, there wasn't time to record a full album, so I suggested to our manager that we write and record 2 new songs, and maybe an old song as well, to make it a 3-track EP. So the song Red Mist I had already written, and I sent that across to Francesco, who added to it. Wrote an additional part for it, and changed the direction of the song slightly, but just made it sound so much better, really. And he, of course, is Italian. He originally comes from Sardinia, and our singer Jack is Italian, and he lives in Florence. So they were talking to each other, and they wrote a song together called A New Heartbeat, which was ideal to head the front of the project, because the title of the song says it all: A New Heartbeat. We have a new guitar player. And just at the front of this year, we gained a new bass player. Our old bass player decided he wanted to do other things. New blood in the band, a new heartbeat, new hearts are beating. It just all kind of tied in really nicely. Yeah. We recorded a video for that particular song, which is currently out on YouTube. And while we're recording, I went back to our management and said, do you think we could make it a 4-track EP instead of a 3-track? Because the track that we chose to record, I asked Francesco, I said, what's one of your favorite Tigers tracks from back in the day? And he said, oh, that's got to be Killers, really. I've always liked that song. Yeah. So we recorded that, but I had a burning desire to record Fire Clown. See his eyes, he's going to die. So our manager said, yeah, it can be a 4-track EP. So we recorded, I say a new version of Fire Clown and a new version of Killers. They're still kept pretty true to the originals, but of course we've got over 40 years worth of new technology, which enables us to make the songs broader and a bit bolder and a bit bigger sounding. Jack's vocals are just absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, awesome.
He's done this, the old songs, a real justice, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
So the whole project has turned out absolutely, better than we could ever have expected, and it's been out about 7 or 8 weeks now, and it's flying away. It's doing unbelievable.
Yeah, it sounds great. Great job. Yeah.
It was just available. I think it was just 4 days ago. We just made it available as a download. We didn't do a download straight away because we just wanted it as a physical copy, as in it's available as a 4-track CD, and it's now a limited run of 12-inch LP with 2 tracks on each side.
Nice.
Which is really a really nice. It's just everything. The whole thing about Sonorio, the artwork is tremendous, which our drummer Craig does. He's done all the artwork for that. He made the video. He's a very clever fella. So that's all his handiwork. And it's I think in 4 days we're over 20,000 downloads already. So it's
wow.
It's taken off. Yeah, it's good.
It's going fast. And so
yeah. In saying that though, last year, because our manager is very big on statistics and things.
Yeah.
So last year across, shall we say, the Tigers range, across all our albums and songs, we managed to clock up 4.2 million downloads. So
wow.
We're doing all right.
You guys doing okay? Wow, awesome! What a feat right there. Very cool. Very awesome treat for the fans. Very, very cool. So I understand you guys already have a new full-length album written. Is that so?
We do, yes, absolutely. And we're busy recording it at the moment. So I think we have 5 tracks recorded, and another 7 to go. So the album will be it'll be a 10-track album, and there'll be bonus tracks, different bonus tracks for different areas of the world. So
awesome.
in the states, it'll have a different track to it than it'll have when it goes out to Japan.
Oh wow, awesome! There you go for all the fans asking. Perfect. The year of the tiger for sure. So
let's hope so, because it hasn't been anybody's past 2 years because nobody's played.
Horrible. I know that just a horrible experience for the whole music business, for sure.
Yeah, and there have been so many casualties. We've seen quite a lot of clubs that that we have played in, have gone to the wall because of this, and it's just so sad. And I really hope people are gonna. And I know times are tough financially, but I hope people are still going to come out and support their local venues, because if they don't, then they're going to close.
Yeah.
It's a sad fact, and we don't want that. We want as many live venues open as possible.
Yeah, I'm also a local musician here in Texas. Not, of course, at the level of you guys or any professional band, but we also felt the end of the world there. The whole music world ended. The clubs just closed down and all that. So we felt it at the local level. So, and of course we read all the stories of all the name bands like you guys, and it's just horrible situation out there. But things are looking up a little bit better now here in the U.S. a little bit. I don't know about the U.K., but
yeah, definitely things are opening up. And there are bands, starting to tour again, which is great. We haven't played since March 2020.
Yeah.
So we're very excited because our first show since the pandemic is headlining a festival in Madrid on Saturday the 21st of May.
Awesome! Wow.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Have you guys start rehearsing for that, or not yet?
Yeah, oh yes, but of course there's only three of us that live in the UK can rehearse together.
Yeah.
We have 2 days rehearsals booked as a complete band before we play in Madrid, and then we do the show. Because the crazy thing about this whole pandemic, when we replaced our guitar player, we held virtual auditions, so people recorded themselves, recorded a video of themselves, and then sent it to our management, for us all to consider. And we had people from crikey all over the world.
Awesome.
And Francesco was recommended to us, but of course, he still had to send a video in, and we had to make sure that we were making the right choice. And he's been in the band a year now, and I've never met him. Craig's never met him, our drummer. Hugh's never met him, the bass player.
Wow.
We've tried to fly him over 3 times, but each time something's gone wrong, as in the UK's had restrictions or Germany's had restrictions, because he lives near Dusseldorf in Germany, you see.
Okay.
So we've written an album together, but we never met each other, never sat down and played in the same room. So the first time that I'll meet Francesco will be in a rehearsal room in Madrid.
Wow, what a situation. It's strange, but true situation.
Yeah, absolutely. An absolutely crazy situation, but that's the way of this very strange world at the moment.
Yeah, that's the world of the internet. Back in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, there was no way you could do that. Maybe through phone calls, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. So, yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but very exciting.
Yeah, very cool. So I read you guys received a music industry award from Hard Rock Hell. Congrats on that.
We did, yes. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, I went there to pick the award up, and it was, it was a tremendous occasion. I had to go up and make a little speech, and just wanted to thank everybody, as indeed your listeners, for their faith, and loyalty in following the band.
Wow, awesome. How does it feel after, on and off, about over 40 years, correct?
It came out of the blue, to be honest with you. But a lovely thing to come out of the blue, I have to say. It was just tremendous, absolutely tremendous. It just a nice something that we weren't expecting. So that's about all I can say, really. It's a very treasured trophy.
Awesome.
Which everybody's taking a turn putting it on their in their lounge.
Very cool. Very well deserved. Awesome career so far. Awesome. So do you think the band's style has changed since the beginning, or do you think it's just about the same, or how do you see this?
I think Wildcat was something slightly different, which is of course where we started. And when John Deverell and John Sykes joined, and we wrote Spellbound together, I think that's when the band really started to take its identity, which has lasted and is with us today as we speak.
Yeah.
We I think when you hear a Tigers song, you kind of know it's Tigers.
Oh yeah.
Which it definitely gives you an identity. And why not? It's good to have to be identifiable. When your music's comes on. It's like when you hear when you hear an unfamiliar song but a familiar singer, so you know exactly who the band is.
Yes.
And so what I mean by that is, for argument's sake, if you hear a brand new Iron Maiden song that you've never heard before, but you know it's Bruce Dickinson singing.
Yes, of course.
So therefore that you know it's Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that's, or I hope certainly that's that's the Tigers. When you hear Jack's voice, you think, oh, that's the Tigers. I might not have heard this. I haven't heard this song before, so I'm going to check it out. So yeah, it's good to have that kind of recognition, if you like.
Yeah, being recognized just by a couple of seconds of listening to the music. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So why the name Tigers of Pang Tang? Who came up with this name, and what's the meaning behind this?
Okay, so that's a very easy one. You've got to picture two young lads, myself and Rocky. Richard Laws, the original bass player, was sat in his mum's lounge. There's only, at this point, there is only myself and Rocky and Brian, who was the drummer. We were just three of us, never intending to be a three-piece, of course, because we needed a singer. But we were a three-piece. We were sat in his mum's lounge, plotting how we were going to take over the world with our music and our songs. And we said, well, really, we need a name for this little ensemble that we have. So I suggested Achilles' Heel. And Rocky said, what about Tigers of Pang Tang? And I looked at him and my jaw dropped to the floor and I said, that's absolutely amazing. Where on earth have you got that from? Now, Rocky was a big fantasy science fiction book reader. And at the time, he was reading a series of books by an author called Michael Moorcock, who was a big fantasy science fiction author in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And in one of his books called Stormbringer, and I wonder which band got their album title from that.
Right.
In the book Stormbringer, where the emperor lived, his principality was guarded by the cliffs of Pang Tang. I say guarded. You had to enter the cliffs of Pang Tang to get to him,
Wow.
and the cliffs were guarded by not dogs but attack tigers. So Rocky just put all the elements together and came up with Tigers of Pang Tang, and that was it. Go no further. That's what we're called.
It's a brilliant choice. When I first heard that, I was like, wow. It's just a very unique name, and it sticks out.
It's a bit different, isn't it? Yeah, it's out there.
Very cool. You mentioned John Sykes. How was it working with John?
John was tremendous. John came again through auditions. We were auditioning at Tower Bridge Studios in London just after we'd finished recording Wildcat. John came with about 80 other guitar players across 2 days, and his audition was just outstanding. Great singer, great guitar player.
Yeah.
At that point, we didn't know whether he could write, but of course he writes great songs. The whole package, really, good-looking lad, had everything. Yeah. And he was just absolutely right for the job. So John and I actually shared a room as we were touring around the world. So I got to know him very well.
Yeah.
And what an absolute lovely fella he is. And we're friends to this day. We speak on the phone and we email each other. And I keep on telling him to get his bloody thumb out and come out and do some shows and get his material released and all that kind of stuff. And he keeps promising me that he's going to do it, and then he doesn't.
He should, yeah.
But I have tried on everybody's behalf. I have tried.
Right. Yeah. So, John, if you're listening to this, you should come out and do it for the fans. Come out and give Rob a call.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just. He's a nice fella. He really is. And I hope before it's too late that he does. He does come out and play for everybody again.
Yeah, do it for the fans, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yes. So you guys, everybody knows what happened here and there. There's several reasons flying around. You guys disbanded a couple of times in the 80s, if you will. I'm not sure if you can say that, but what happened there? I mean, I think it was once or twice where the band disbanded, as I understand.
Yeah, sort of in '83, the record company wanted us to record other people's songs. They wanted us to record outside songwriters from outside the band, and I didn't want to do that. Wildcat charted at 13 in the charts, Spellbound charted at 18, The Cage was charted at 25 or something, although The Cage, there wasn't many songs on that album that that we'd written, and it was kind of going that way, and I didn't want it to, I didn't want to play other people's songs. If I wanted to play other people's songs, I'd be in a covers band, but anyway. So they said, well, if you don't want to record these songs, you might jeopardize your record contract. And at that point, I got up and I walked out of the room that all the record company execs were sat in, and said, I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the band followed. So whether that was a brave thing to do or a stupid thing to do, who knows?
Yeah.
We tried to find another record company. There were several interested, but it just didn't quite work out. So everybody kind of went their separate ways. I was in a band with Brian, the drummer, called Sargent.
Yeah.
And that there was an album written there as well, which unfortunately was recorded but never came out. And at that point, I just got really disillusioned with it all, and kind of stepped away from the music business. And that was about '87. And there was John Deverell and Brian got together and hired 3 session musicians, and they recorded a couple of albums, which came out. I don't think they did very much sales-wise, and then they disbanded. So there was a bit of a period from about 89, I guess, to 99, 10 years. And then I got a phone call saying, did I want to be part of a 20th year anniversary get-together to play a big German festival called Wacken, near Hamburg. And I said, oh, definitely. So off we went to do that. And that was, everybody was asked to do it, but there was only actually the original singer and myself who actually could do it. So we hired some musicians, and when we came back from that, I really was well and truly bitten again by the rock and roll bug, and thought I'm going to have to do something again with the Tigers. And one of the musicians that came out with us, the bass player Gav, actually ended up in the Tigers for a number of years, and just left at the beginning of this year. And I just was lucky enough to get involved with some great musicians. And I I spoke to Rocky and made sure that he was fine with us using the name, because the name doesn't, we kind of invented it together.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, absolutely, crack on. So that's what I did.
Very cool.
And of course, this is where we are now.
Awesome. Thank you for keeping the name going for us fans. Very cool. We get to see new Tigers material. That's very cool.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
You mentioned not playing since 2020. Are there any plans in the future to tour the U.S. or do you see anything happening?
There's always plans. There's always plans. We would love to tour the US, but it's finding the right deal, and finding the right package to come out. And we've been offered a couple of packages, but they just weren't the right ones for us. So our agent is constantly talking to people in the States. Of course, everything had to go quiet for the past 2 years. We had a tour of Australia cancelled in 2020, which was a bit of a shame. So hopefully things will come back online, and we'll start talking about coming across to America again and playing. It's certainly one of the places that's definitely on our list. The shows this year are all booked now, so it won't be this year, but maybe 2023. Never say never. We'll have a new album. We'll have a new album out then. The new album is due to be released. As far as I know, don't quote me on it, but January 2023, which really is not that far away. 8 months. We're already 4 months into this year, for goodness sake.
April, time flies by real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've got quite a lot of shows to do this year. Some nice festivals.
You mentioned.
And then we're.
I'm sorry. You mentioned rehearsing sometime before the May. You say you have a May gig, of course. Do you make the set list yourself? Do you pick and choose the songs, or does everyone kind of throw in their hat? Yes, I initially do it, and then I put it out to everybody, and if anybody wants to change anything, or are there any suggestions, or if I've forgotten something, and we also on our social media we also ask the fans what they want to hear as well. And if we can include anything, from requests, then we absolutely will. So it's done with everybody in mind, really. We're here to please people that come to the shows. So if they want to hear something particular, then we'll do our best to play it. Absolutely, it's about the fans, of course. But you know what? This is just me, my opinion as a fan. There's always that little surprise factor where you expect the hits, quote unquote, of course. And I myself, I like to hear deep cuts. Maybe a little surprise from a certain album, a song we haven't heard live for a while. Are there any surprises on this coming May gig or further on?
Yes, absolutely. We're opening up with a song that we haven't played for 40. Where are we now? 41 years.
41 years.
We're opening up with Fire Clown, which is one of the songs that we re-recorded on the EP.
Wow.
And we're going to play a brand new song from the new album, which of course it hasn't even been mixed yet. So we're going to try a new song out on everybody as well.
Wow, very cool. Would you happen to have any advice for newer up-and-coming bands, kids, if you will, trying to make a band and trying to get out there and making it? Any advice you can, words of advice?
Yeah, the only one of the things I certainly encourage people to do is if you have a dream, then who's to say that dream won't come true? And it definitely won't come true if you don't do something about it. So if you write your own songs, if you think you're a great keyboard player, drummer, guitar player, vocalist, if you play the trombone, it doesn't matter. If you get a chance to do it, then do it. Nothing should hold you back. You literally have your own destiny in your hands. So don't give up. Even if you can't do it as a profession, you can do it. You get your regular job going. Get yourself established, so you can buy yourself, some good equipment, or a great instrument, and a nice guitar or whatever, something that's cool and that feels comfortable, and just go for it. And who knows what's around the corner? You might be the next star. Wow,
very cool advice. So there you go. People asking, people trying to get advice from a true professional and legend like yourself. Very cool. Thank you for that.
It's a pleasure. It's think long and hard. Every word is meant there. There's nothing stopping. This only your mind, can sort of hamper you, but it shouldn't. You should just go for it. Thank you very much for your time, your loyalty. We are so grateful, because without people like your good selves, there would be no band. And I think sometimes big acts that charge extra money, for you to meet and greet them and come and see them, I truly don't believe that's right. It's because of amazing people, that spend their money on, buying, we'll say Tigers of Pan Tang albums and, downloads and EPs and CDs and LPs, T-shirts, whatever. It's because you do that we exist, and we carry on. So a massive shout out and thank you to each and every one of you. And if we do happen to play a show for you, in your local town, or if you've got a relation that lives, in Europe or somewhere that we're playing, always after the shows we're very big on meet and greet. For free. We absolutely love talking to people, and having a glass of wine, and as we say in the UK, chewing the fat. In other words, putting the world to right. We spend a long time after the shows talking to people. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome. That's very cool to know that you guys are accessible. Very cool. Awesome for the fans. It's just a dream to meet legends like you guys. So thank you for making great music over the years, and thank you for the new EP, A New Heartbeat, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the US or anywhere around the world, right? Thank you for your time, Rob. We truly appreciate that.
Thank you very much indeed. Speak to you soon, James.
Support the band on their socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whichever digital format or social media format they might have. Support these guys, man. Support all rock metal acts, for that matter. So thank you to Mr. Rob Weir, who made time for us and to chat with us about Tigers of Pan Tang. Of course, Mr. Weir is one of the original members since 1978, way back in the day in the 70s, man. So this guy was there from the inception of Tigers of Pan Tang. And anyways, as far as our podcast, thank you guys for supporting us one more time. And don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.